Hello student, welcome to today's session. As per your request, I am again placing one more session on more than one choice type question those who are preparing for IIT Advanced. So this particular type of questions are always challenging, and if it got mixed with inorganic chemistry, it becomes more challenging. So today we shall be discussing one important topic of metallurgy, that too with the more than one choice question. So here comes the question in front of you. Pause the video, try to solve it out and then see into the discussion. So I hope you people have tried this question by pausing the video. So what is being asked in this particular question is that you are being provided with two ores A1 and A2. And first A1 is underwent some metallurgical process for which the two observations are given. And then A2 is also underwent some metallurgical process and for which two observations are given. So from these two observations for A1 A2, you have to figure out which out of the following statement is correct. So again, as I said, for more than one choice question, you need to be doing it in a good mental composure. It is very important because in case you just miss any of these, because that would always give you a very negative feeling if in case you opted for some silly mistake. So you need to do it in a very good amount of mental composure. So what is being said, let me break this into two parts. So A1 is first calcined. It is simply being heated and it evolves out carbon dioxide and water along with some precipitate. So from here I get to see that this A1 ore can be a carbonate ore, because then only you could get the carbon dioxide. This is the best way to infer out here. And then this ore A1 is treated with metal hydrochloric acid, and it gives metal chloride, and that metal chloride is being treated with Ki to produce iodine along with some precipitate. That is the second option they are provided with. So here I could see that since iodine is being liberated, that is iodimetry titration type of a thing basically. So here the Ki is in -1 oxidation state. It happens to go to 0. So that means here the iodide must have reduced this metal in this metal chloride, because it itself acted as a reducing agent. So here the metal chloride must be acting as an oxidizing agent. So that is also very interesting to see as we go into the further part of this question. So what is he done for A2? A2 is being burnt or roasted, as is being said, roasted in the presence of oxygen at high temperature. It is being heated with along with oxygen, and a gas is being produced and metal got free. This is what they have said. And the fourth option, which would give you a clear cut indication in the fact that this gas which is being generated in the first reaction decolorizes or changes the orange color of potassium dichromate to green. This in a way suggests me that this gas can be SO2, because roasting is most of the time is done for the sulfide ores. Whenever you have metal sulfide ore is being treated with oxygen, there is metal oxide formed, or metal can also be formed depending upon if it is fall under the case of self reduction, and along with it SO2 gas is being generated. Now SO2 gas can decolorize potassium dichromate because of the fact that SO2 in itself is a reducing agent, and if it is treated with dichromate ion, it convert dichromate plus 6 to chromium 3 positive, which is green in color, and itself get oxidized to sulfate. It itself get oxidized to sulfate from plus 4 to plus 6, and that whole of this happens in an acidic medium. So dichromate tend to act as an oxidizing agent in acidic medium, and this acted as a reducing agent. So these are some of the references or inferences I could get from this wording roasting. Roasting is done for sulfide ore, and it can evolve out sulfur dioxide gas. Now let us see what are the options available to me. So till the time I won't be able to achieve A1 and A2, I cannot speak of other options, that is B and D. So first let me figure myself or concentrate myself to the A and C option first. So what is A option? Zinc carbonate and zinc sulfide. Zinc carbonate, just to add knowledge to your just to add value to your knowledge bank, is zinc carbonate is basically a ore which we call it as calamine. This is zinc blendy, which is very popular, and this is chalcocite. This is a ore of a copper as sulfite. This is chalcocite. Let me write it once again, chalcocite. And this is malachite. So these are the names of some of the ores which they have mentioned. Now let me go on to the first option first, that what they have done for here. So either my option, as per the first option, I can think of zinc carbonate or the malachite. What is malachite? Is cupric carbonate along with cupric hydroxide. This, if it is alone heated strongly, what I can get here? I can get zinc oxide along with carbon dioxide, so it is being evolved. And here also, you could get copper oxide along with carbon dioxide, and some moisture would also come out in this case. Now, as per the question, if you could see, he said that A1 is calcined and black solid is obtained along with carbon dioxide and water. So what I could get here is, if I would have heated calamine, I would not have achieved, or I would have not received water vapors. Only the carbon dioxide would have gone out. And another thing, here the zinc is in plus 2 oxidation state, and zinc in plus 2 oxidation state happen to have D10 system, and the compounds or the systems which are having D10 system are generally white colored. So they don't be having any color. They would not be showing any color. So this in a way suggests me strongly that A1 would not be zinc carbonate. But yes, it can be, this malachite ore can be possible, because this is a dark red or black precipitate you can get. So first we are clear with that the A1 must be this particular compound. Now going on to the A2. So if I take A2 in consideration, what are the options available for me? Now see here, what is A2? I can think of zinc sulfide or copper sulfide. These are the two things which I can think of. So it is being roasted. Now let me show it to you, that if zinc carbonate I would have taken, definitely on roasting, that means you are heating the ore along with the good amount of oxygen, and if you heat it to a very high temperature, this would change into zinc oxide and SO2, and this SO2 gas would be evolved out, and this definitely could dechlorize the potassium dichromate. But here the matter of the fact is that if you would read the statement very carefully, what they said, that the ore A2 is on roasting gives gas G along with metal got free. Here metal is still not got free. It is zinc oxide. Now here you have to understand, if I would have taken this the chalcocite ore, and if it is roasted, this would have given me CuO plus SO2, and as a matter of fact, if I have to do the balancing here, I would end up getting this thing. So this got balanced. Now here I would add one thing to your knowledge bank, is that there are some ores, like you can talk of PbS or Cu2S, or you may take HGS. These are some of the ores which, when treated with oxygen, they tend to do the self reduction. They tend to do the self reduction. Now what does it mean? That this particular ore, which is chalcocite, when a part of this cuprous sulfide is being changed into this oxide in itself start reducing it. What does it mean? That is what you call it as self reduction. As soon as this product is being formed, it started reducing the cuprous ion, it started reducing the cuprous ion to copper. This is very interesting to tell you. And along with it, what is being generated is sulfur dioxide. So what I'm saying is, this comes here. Now this again is a very interesting viewpoint. I would suggest all of you to go through this particular two reactions, or any reaction of self reduction, from a point of view of redox. That is very, very interesting. Now how could it be very interesting? Because here the copper is in +1, this also is in +1, this goes to this, that is, if I do the balancing, it would come 6. So this goes to the 0, and this also goes to the 0. And other part of this sulfur is undergoing what you would say, this is undergoing -2 to +4. So this is undergoing oxidation, and these two are undergoing reduction. So the from the redox standpoint of view, this reaction is very, very interesting. So I may ask you that what could be the N factor for this, and what could be the N factor for this. This is very challenging, and one of my series pertaining to N factor, you can look into that. But this particular question because it is very interesting. If I would say this copper 1 positive is one part of the substrate or one part of the reactant or a compound is undergoing reduction, the second part of the same compound is undergoing oxidation, then reduction as well as oxidation are occurring through the same compound. So how to take the n factor or how to understand the redox into it, so that is very important. So go into that particular link which is being shown on the upper side of this video. So the point is, so here what we are able to see, let me come back to the main question first. So this copper sulfide is being reduced by copper oxide which is formed during the process. This is what you call it as self reduction. So I think, or it is very evident that when this chalcocite is being roasted, due to the self reduction, it would metal got free and SO2 gas is being generated. So this in a way strongly suggests us that A1 must be um, copper carbonate along with copper hydroxide, and A2 must be zinc, uh, that is chalcocite. It can't be zinc sulfide. So now let us see. So this means this option, A option went wrong, and now C option is correct. Now I have to still figure out whether B and D is, we are not yet done with the question. We need to figure out is B and D are also correct. So the gas G is definitely SO2. This statement is correct till now. And S is copper oxide. What was S? Go to the main question once again. This is black solid. So this is definitely correct. So it means D option is also correct. Now we are only left with the B option. Now to see the B option, what we have to do, basically we are copper carbonate along with copper hydroxide. It is being heated. You get copper oxide, carbon dioxide and water. I'm not balancing it out. And this is black. This we have already spoken about. And this then treated with HCl basically. So this would give you cuprous chloride. Along with it, carbon dioxide and water goes out. And this is a water soluble salt. And now from here, what we have said that it is being treated with Ki. This is very important to tell you. So iodine here is in -1. So as already spoken about it, this is a reducing agent which would be converting this copper 1 positive to copper 2 positive to copper 1 positive along with liberation of iodine gas. This is what they have done, and this would appear as precipitate and iodine would go out. So this in a way is what they are writing about this particular option. So a P is Cu2I2. If I show you the question once again, this is what they have said, or let me go to the back of this. So they have said A1 treated with HCl then with Ki gives a precipitate P, and these precipitate P are these only. And M is the metal, M is copper solid. That is perfectly right. This we have already spoken about that this would be a M would be a metal. This ore is of metal M. M is what? This is what? A student provided with the two ores of same metal. It should be written as or some metal M. So M would definitely be a copper. It would not be a zinc. So this in a way is a very interesting question to handle with. And now coming on to the next question, which is very important. Oh, let me answer it once again. B is correct, C is correct, and D is correct. So if you want to see the digitized solution of this particular thing, so this is what we have achieved. So this is black, and then you could see the total balancing also. So this got precipitated P, and A2 is again the ore of copper, and it underwent roasting and self-reduction to give you this thing. And finally, this orange colored solution with SO2 went to the green colored chromium 3 positive ions. Moving on to the next question. This again is a very interesting question to handle with. So here what they have said that during the metallurgical sequence, identify the statement, correct statement, you have to figure it out. So the ore is of metal M, which is being heated here. And since on this heating, you are not doing, you are adding oxygen from your side, so it is not roasting. It is calcination. Simply, you are not excessively adding. So calcination is a process where you are simply heating the ore in or in absence of oxygen, because as a matter of fact, during any metallurgical process, we wanted ore to be converted to metal oxide. So if it is a carbonate or sulfate ore, even if there is oxygen and you are heating it, it definitely will change into metal oxide. And then it is being treated with dilute HCl to form metal chloride. And this metal chloride is then treated with NaOH to form white precipitate. And along with it, what you are going to see in this particular question, they are saying, now let us see the observations, what they have said. The gas G can be produced by heating malonic acid. Now here, this is again a very interesting, so that is the beauty of IIT advanced type of a question, where a examiner would intermix so many things that you, if you are not having a good hold on your organic chemistry, they can check through the inorganic chemistry your organic also. So what is malonic acid? Malonic acid is this compound, and we know for sure, for this also you can see into the video where I have talked about decarboxylation cases. So if you are going to heat it, this is a special case of 1,3-dioic acid. 1,3-dioic acid, when heated, this undergoes decarboxylation. It evolves carbon dioxide and acetic acid is being generated. So this gas, what is this gas? That could be, without seeing any options, I just have not seen the options as yet. So this gas G, I can identify that on heating malonic acid, you would get carbon dioxide. And if in case I hurriedly would show you the mechanistic viewpoint, basically it is somewhat like this. You are being given dicarboxylic acid, and dicarboxylic acid can undergo on heating a transition state because of the fact that this is delta negative, this is delta positive. So this goes here, this goes here, and this goes here. So beautiful transition state has happened, and as a consequence of it, you would end up getting this sort of a compound along with the evolution of carbon dioxide, and this underwent a sort of enolization to give you back the carboxylic acid. So it is acetic acid and carbon dioxide gone out. So one thing we are clear with, this ore of metal would liberate carbon dioxide. So I can see they have written ore is of sulfate and ore is of carbonate. So this in a way, a strong inference we are getting that it would be a carbonate ore rather than a sulfate. And then this is being, now what next they are saying, that the precipitate P dissolves in excess of NaOH. This precipitate, white precipitate which we get, dissolves in excess of NaOH. And metal oxide, this metal oxide also dissolves in excess of NaOH. This is very beautiful, very interesting it is, that whatever metal oxide on heating that ore we get, that metal oxide and its metal chloride both dissolves in excess of NaOH. And the coordination complex C is of the type this, where M is that metal which we are talking of. Identify the, now this is becoming very interesting. Now let me show what, how we can think of what, because again it is more than one choice, we have to be dealing it with a good amount of patience. Now what I can see here is, as per the options available, either I could make zinc sulfate or zinc carbonate. This, they are asking you either it is zinc sulfate or zinc carbonate, or if I take iron as a matter of fact, so iron would be either FeCO3 or your FeSO4. So these are the some of the things which you can think of, or any of these combinations could be possible. Now let us do one by one. So basically, if I would have heated it, any of these to be heated, if say for example, zinc sulfate, which is white vitriol, if it is heated to a very high temperature, this can generate SO2. And FeSO4 on heating, unlike zinc sulfate, on heating, this tend to oxidize. Now this is very interesting. Ferrous sulfate, when heated, it happens to go to uh, ferric oxide with the evolution of SO2 and SO3 gas. This is very, very important to tell you. So here if I would balance it out, it would be 2, and here also it would be 2. So it got balanced out. This got balanced out also. So what I am able to see here is that ferrous sulfate or zinc sulfate on heating can evolve out these gases, and these gases are not what is being said about. It is not, because the G gas they are referring is can be derived from malonic acid, and that is carbon dioxide. So this in a way strongly suggests me that sulfate would not be the answer. So A would not be the answer. Now A option could be ignored. Now I am left with two options. Either this would be a ore of zinc, and that, or iron in the form of carbonate. Now here we have to think of carefully. Now what they have said, that this goes to metal oxide on heating. So this is giving metal oxide, isn't it? This is giving me metal oxide. Sorry, if I have to write zinc carbonate, let me write it here. Zinc carbonate, and I am left with the ore would be of carbonate. Now we have to see as per the data, is it of zinc or iron? So if I heat them together, if I heat them, this would go to zinc oxide and carbon dioxide is evolved out. But this also would give you FeO plus carbon dioxide got evolved out. So here the metal oxide which they have shown, M2 positive, O2 negative. So these are, both of these are possible. Now, along with the carbon dioxide, so here there is a, up till now, for the first step, these two could be think of. Now, this is being treated with HCl. Now, if I treat this with HCl, this would give me zinc chloride. And if I treat this also with HCl, this may also give you ferrous chloride. Now, I reach this point of time at this stage. Now, FeCl2, if I talk of FeCl2, this would be green. And as per my previous discussion on this question of zinc, zinc is in +2 oxidation state, and this would be white, and in aqueous solution it would be colorless. So here I can see this would be a white one. Okay. Now if this is being treated with NaOH, if this is being treated with NaOH, this would give me ferrous hydroxide or ferric hydroxide, something like that. These can be precipitated. And if I took zinc as a matter of fact, so zinc chloride when treated with NaOH, this would give me zinc hydroxide along with HCl. So something like this would have happened. Now this is water salt. This appear as a precipitate, as they are saying, white precipitate. Now here we can say this, any of these two, if these are being produced, these would not be white. So if I talk of FeOH thrice, this would be a dark colored. It would not be a white colored salt. And same is for ferrous hydroxide. So here I am getting the feel that now this compound, if is treated with NaOH in excess, if I added excess of NaOH, the precipitates which we received, in excess of that, this would undergo solubilization, because of the fact that it can generate this sort of a species, or sodium zincate type of species is being produced along with. So this particular species which we are saying zinc hydroxide, in excess of NaOH would dissolve into it. And another thing, they also have said that this metal oxide directly could also, if I have zinc oxide treated with NaOH, this also would have given me sodium zincate. That is what I was on the verge of writing it, along with the evolution of hydrogen. And this anion, this 2Na positive plus ZnO2 negative, happens to get dissolved in excess of NaOH. This is very, very interesting. And here I could see one thing more for you, that zinc oxide can react with HCl as well as with NaOH. This in a way also shows that it is amphoteric in nature. So which ferric or ferrous oxide would not be. So this in a way shows that the option, acha, one more thing it is showing me very categorically, that this is also reacting with this particular complex, which iron would not be doing that way. So if you have FK4FeCN6 and they are showing it CN6, they are showing it that when you treat it with metal, this becomes M2FeCN6. So basically what actually has happened, this must be Zn2 positive. Zn2 positive must have thrown out 2K positive, and this is cationic exchange might have happened here, which would not be the case if it has been Fe2 positive or Fe3 positive. Then it would have given you a dark colored blue solution of turban bulls blue or Persian blue type of a complex would be generated. So seeing all these into consideration, what I'm able to see here is, let me see into the options now. So the ore must be definitely of carbonate. This is very clear to us that it would definitely be a carbonate ore. Now we have to figure it out whether the ore is of zinc metal or iron. So we found that it is of zinc. It would not be of iron, because FeO would precipitate, and on excess of dissolution, this would not give you white precipitate, nor it would react with this complex to give you a sort of cationic exchange, but it will turn this solution into turbans blue or Persian blue type of a color. So this is again a very interesting question. Hope you have enjoyed today's session, and very soon we will be placing some more videos of more than one choice as per the request of many of the students of those who are appearing for IIT Advanced. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day, and stay connected and stay safe and take good care of your family as well as yourself. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.